Hi everyone, Pastor Joe from Tomoka Christian Church. As we continue our devotional studies from the book of Matthew, last week we talked about the fact that if they persecuted Jesus, they were certainly going to persecute us, and they called him Satan. They called him Beelzebub. So we can expect that everything that is good is going to be turned to called bad, and everything's bad is going to be turned around and called good. But listen to what Jesus says following that. This is Matthew 10:26. So do not be afraid of them. So there's a kind of a thought there that maybe we'd be afraid. There's nothing concealed that will not be disclosed or hidden that will not be made known. So the truth's going to come out. The truth's going to come out where our hearts are, that we love Jesus. If you don't, then you need to fix that. And the truth's also going to come out about the persecution and about the ugliness. Heaven and hell, eternity, have a way of clearing up absolutely everything, because everyone stands before the throne of God. Jesus said, "What I tell you in the dark, you speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, you claim from the rooftops." He's saying, listen, in your time with me, you stay in the Word, I'll fill you up, and then you just keep teaching truth. You don't worry about what anybody has to say about it, whether they like it or not. Our job is to teach the truth in love. And our culture, somewhere along the way, the church has lost this idea that we are the representatives of truth. Yes, we are to love, but if you look at the average American church, it looks more like the hippies of the 60s than it does a biblical picture of the church. It's like, oh, we're all about love. Well, okay, but Jesus was all about truth and love, because love without truth really just sends people to hell. You just pat them on the back and say, it doesn't matter what you do, what you believe, how you live. So we got to balance those two. And then here's the last phrase, verse 28. Do not be afraid of those who can kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. So listen, I assume most of you watching are Christians. Be strong, be rooted in the Word, be full of prayer, be ready to stand your ground. Expect persecution. But you want to be afraid of something? This is amazing. People are afraid of COVID. They're afraid of running out of money. They're afraid of sickness. They're afraid of life. They're afraid of being afraid. And it seems the only thing people aren't afraid of is being in the presence of God. And that's the only thing we really have to fear. He said, don't worry about somebody that can take your life. See, Christians since the beginning of time have been sacrificing their lives for the cause of Christ. Now, I'm not saying we should sign up today, but we ought to be ready for it. The rest of the world is. Only in the Western world, where we're soft, do we worry about stuff like this. You know what? We're going to die. If we're chosen to die for Christ, so be it. He said, you want to be afraid of the one who can destroy both body and soul in hell. You give that some thought.